Start class in a restorative pose. And I am going to have my props handy and just kind of tell you a little bit about myself. And I'm Shannon. So firstly, I'd like to thank meaction for partnering with me and helping organize this event. I'm so grateful to them and all the hard work they do for all of us. And welcome to this wonderful community of ME, fibromyalgia, and long COVID warriors. How cool is this? We're a group of people from all over the world coming together despite this chronic illness and doing some yoga. And I have to admit, I had some tears when I saw 500 people register for this class. I mean, I know that there are so many of us out there in this world with this, but for some reason, when it was staring me in the face, I got choked up. And I think it was partly because it showed me that I wasn't alone. And yet at the same time, that there are just so many of us with this disease still showing up, still trying in spite of all of it. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming. And I see you. And I see your light shining, and I hope this practice can bring some more light into your lives too. And so, like most of you, I've been managing ME for myself for many years. And during this time, I attempted various activities only to find out they were simply not attainable. And that was even yoga. So classes were too long, too strenuous, too achievement focused, and it was so frustrating because I used to be so athletic before this illness. And sadly, I know that this experience is all too common in our community, but we're not going to be like that here. So I invite you to instead let go of the expectations of how yoga is supposed to look, because real yoga is so much more than that. The poses are actually one small piece alongside breathing and getting in touch with your body and releasing tensions and calming your central nervous system and coming out of your head and into the present. So today's class is going to be just that. We will begin with some grounding breath work, and then you decide if you want to join us with some gentle movements and restorative poses. And the whole class will be 30 minutes, and we end with a shavasana, a guided meditation. And you're welcome to stay after for a community chat. And although I've tried to make this accessible for everyone, we're all so different. Some have EDS, some have spinal issues. So please do best to look after yourself. Nobody knows your body better than you. So do what you need. And the goal is not to push yourself. So if you're just coming into the community and sharing breath with us today, then that is a deeply nourishing practice. So I'm going to invite you, if you haven't already done so, just to lay nice and long in your bed, on your mat. Let's see if you can settle in a little bit here. And maybe even allow your feet to part down to the sides so the toes are pointing out. See if you can let your arms kind of come away from the body a bit. See if you can take a little space. Okay. And just sense and feel your body supported on the surface beneath you. Nice and easy. And letting go, getting ready for practice or anything else you have to do today, just coming into the moment. And let's start with noticing your breath. So there's no wrong way to be breathing right now. We're just taking a little snapshot. And if it's comfortable to you, take your top hand and place it on the center of your chest, and your lower hand and place it on your lower belly. So the thumb would be maybe at your belly button and spread the fingers wide. And again, notice the movements of your hand with your breath. And see if you can notice, is one hand moving more than the other? You have no right or wrong. And then just allow that top hand at the chest to rest at the side. And see if you can consciously guide your breath into that lower hand. Nice, slow, steady breaths. This cues our central nervous system to let go, to relax. And we're moving that hand now to the side, and just see how much room your body can take up. Maybe even coming into a human starfish and stretching yourself out wide, just getting the body ready for some movement. Maybe rolling the hands and feet in one direction, and then taking that in the opposite direction. And then maybe even pointing the feet down, matching your hands with this, stretching the body out. And then flexing the feet and wrists back. On your inhale, pointing feet and fingers down. Exhale, flexing back. Okay. Now you may decide to stay here, or if you're going to come and join me, just gently slide one foot at a time onto the surface beneath you. So your knees will be bent, and allow the arms to just rest at your side if you can, with your hands, palms facing up. And we're just going to ground here for a moment. So press those feet into the surface beneath you and release. And this time on the inhale, pressing those feet down, grounding you here into the moment. Exhaling, release, release, release. And one more time, gentle press down on the inhale. Exhaling, release, release, release. Okay, so we are going to move into some movements to help release the spine, and it's called an arch and flatten. So if you're joining me, the movement you want to make is to roll your pelvis forward. So your tailbone tilts down, your lower back arches, and release back to neutral. We'll take that arch again. Breathing in, rolling the pelvis forward, tailbone tilts, lower back arches. Exhaling, release, nice, slow and steady. There might be some little twitches, and that's okay. And then we'll go into the opposite direction. So flattening your lower back onto the surface beneath you. Pelvis tilts up. Exhaling, release, release, release. Inhaling, pelvis tilts up, lower back flattens, your stomach muscles engage. Exhale, release, release, release. And pause here for a breath. And we'll take that arch and flatten one more time. If you're coming along with me, rolling the pelvis down, back arches, Exhaling, releasing, flattening into the surface. Pelvis tilts up. Exhale, release, release, release. Okay, wonderful. So we've warmed our spines, and now we're going to do some very gentle little twists in the back. Let's place our arms out to the sides into a T if that's available. Take a minute to get yourself comfy. And just start really slow here. So just tipping the knees to one side and to the next. Let's warm up the hip flexors first before we go into any twist. So just gently dipping side to side. Nice and easy. And then the next time your knees come center, pausing here. Now the goal is not to allow your knees to go all the way down. You just want to have them gradually drop to one side. Pausing here for a moment to feel that stretch, that twist. Exhaling, drawing the knees back to center. Inhaling, dipping the knees to the opposite side. Exhaling, coming back to center. And one more time, dipping the knees down to one side, nice little twist. Exhaling, coming back to center. And on the next inhale, dipping the knees to the opposite side. Exhaling, coming back to center. And just pause here for a moment. Perhaps your legs go long or you come into a bundle roll. So you decide, ask your body, what does it need? We're going to go long next. So just take a couple seconds here and feel out what your body's craving. And as you're coming down to laying fully on your back with your legs out, please have your props either side of your lower belly or your lower body. So ideally at your knees. Okay, so either side, because we're going to be using the prop for each side. So with this next pose, or if you're just resting, just guide your breath. We're going to have our legs come together. And you're going to take the sole of one foot and place it on your ankle. And this is tree pose. So you decide here, where is that perfect tree? Is it the foot at the ankle or sliding it a little more up the leg? And then just blooming the leg open and allowing your knee to rest on your support. Okay, if there's any gripping, you can simply release this, or you can fold your prop higher so it's not so strong of a stretch. So play around here. Once you found that just right stimulus, we'll invite the arms in. So there are a couple different ways you can have your arms. They could be at the sides, just close to your body. They could be across like a T. You could also have them in goalpost or cactus arms. Or you can stretch them overhead and that will be your deepest stretch. So play and see what feels good. And we'll take in one nice deep breath into those side lungs that are being stretched. Nice and easy. And then allowing the leg to go long and your arms to go long. And pausing here for a moment for a breath. And we're going to take this pose. If you're joining, to the opposite side. So we're going to have our tree where we slide that sole of the foot up to the opposite side of the leg. Find where that sweet spot is where you are blooming open with your support. And this side could feel different, so be mindful of that if it needs something different. And then taking the arms again in your direction, what felt good. And settle in just for a moment here. Maybe even breathe in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. Allowing the breath to be low and slow. Relaxing any gripping or holding in the jaw or neck. This is wonderful for our lymphatic system, the tree pose. So we'll give one final breath here, nice and slow and deep. Open, sigh it out, and go long. Wonderful. And keep those props either side of the body for our final pose today. So again, ask your body right now, is there anything it needs either for stillness and to rest or gentle movements it's craving before we go into our final butterfly pose? And how we get that is by allowing the knees to come back up, pointing the soles of the feet together, and then letting your legs open to the sides like a butterfly. Okay, so here you decide, do you need more support under you to take that grip off, because it's going to really open our groin here. Or if you want to lower your legs, it's not quite as strong. So find that sweet spot. Okay, and settle in here. And maybe even place your hands on your belly. And we're going to engage the vagus nerve here with a breath practice called Brahmari breath or bumblebee breath. And how we do that is by inhaling through the nose and exhaling through closed mouth. So your exhale is coming out of your nose, but you're going to hum on the exhale, like So just take that breath a few times here. Humming through the bumblebee breath. This vibrational reaction in the body. It's calming and, like I said, stimulates our vagus nerve. And one more time here. And then removing your props, letting the body go long, and thinking about what you need for our Shavasana, which is our guided meditation. You could decide if you need a little movement by doing a couple bundle rolls or little leg extensions, or coming onto your side or front body. You just need to come off your back for a moment. And let's go into a really yummy Shavasana state. So everyone's will look different. If you need suggestions, I would recommend something under your knees
And something under your head and a blanket over your body for some cozy comfort.
And all you have to do here is relax and see if you can settle in. And take your time. And take a moment now and just allow your breath to settle you. Breathing slowly and deeply in through the nose and softly out through the mouth. Just following the rhythm of your breath, allowing it to drop you into the surface beneath you. Relaxing and releasing and just letting go, letting it all go. Unfurling your brow, softening your cheeks, and just letting your jaw soften, allowing it to unclench, and even letting your tongue gently lie on the bottom of your mouth. And feeling the back of your head well supported and safe beneath you. Following down your neck to your shoulders. And just letting those shoulders fall a little bit more into the surface beneath you. Taking your next deep breath in and releasing those shoulders, letting them drift and drop. And just let go. And following that relaxing sensation all through your back, into the muscles around your spine, and down through your pelvis and into your hips. And taking your next breath and bring that into your hips and lower belly. And allowing everything to go soft and loose. All the way down your legs, right to your ankles and the soles of your feet. And next, we're going to try a new breath practice, which is breathing in for the count of 4 and exhaling for the count of 6. And I will guide you for the first few breath cycles here. And if at any time your breathing becomes short or uncomfortable, just please resume your regular breath. So let's begin by breathing in for the count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And continue on your own.
bringing all your attention to the counting of your breath. This slow, steady, conscious breathing relaxes our system, and the extended exhale promotes the parasympathetic nervous system to relax. And on your next exhale, just have a big open mouth sigh. And allow your breath to resume its normal breathing.
Now go silent now for a few moments and guide you back when it's time to rejoin your day. And gently blinking the eyes open and taking any movements, maybe bringing some small movements into your fingers and your toes. And thanking yourself for taking the time to really look after yourself today. And notice how you feel now compared to when we first started class. And take a nice stretch in whatever direction your body's craving. And I'm going to close class now. And I, again, thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you again. I recommend, if you're coming along for some chat, to come into a comfortable chair or laying in bed, something where you're not having to hold yourself upright, would be really recommended right now. So I will just get my screen share available here. Just give a couple minutes to kind of do a little overview of what I'm about and what this yoga is about. And then I'm going to open it up for questions or comments. So over time, I found that this was the only type of yoga I could do without crashing. I also found it improved my quality of life with safe, consistent practice. And of course, over time, I was able to do a little more. And so I became a certified yoga teacher, hoping to be able to share this with my community. And I'm going to be the first to say that yoga will not cure you. I still have ME, but here is how it has helped and what participants doing this have also said. I think the biggest reason is this style of yoga engages your parasympathetic branch of your nervous system. So it's the rest and digest. So it really helps calm the central nervous system. And this is at the core of every class I do. As a result of that, and it's some gentle movements, we can help ease chronic pain and tensions. It stimulates blood flow, increases circulation. So really good for those of us with POTS, orthostatic intolerance, any type of dysautonomia. And I do specific poses that'll help stimulate the immune system. And I think one of the biggest things I always hear from my class is it helps get you out of your head and into the moment just a little bit more. So just having that, I feel, is worth a class because it reduces stress and depression and anxiety, all those things that come along with chronic illness. And I'd like to think it's kind of fun, but hopefully it's pleasurable. It's something that feels good. You know, there's so many things we are limited to do. So how Nourish is different is my training is completely from a therapeutic background, and I've adapted it completely for ME, long COVID, fibro. So poses are not held for long periods, have minimal repetitions, and transitions between them are slow. And while we won't be doing handstands here, I can show you a ton of variations of how to do downward dog at the wall or child's pose in a chair, so you're not using wrists and ankles. And there's so many valuable ways to get at these poses within our bodies. And unlike YouTube videos, you can actually ask me questions, and I'm always here to support. And I'm really looking to you for some feedback as well, for what sort of classes we're looking for. And every Wednesday at this point, I have a gentle, restorative, spoony friendly class. And we always have a community chat after where we discuss various topics. There is currently a recorded video for yoga and meditation series, Calming the Central Nervous System. So it's a 4-point one-time purchase, and you have access to that for 30 days. And I am developing a large video library, and it'll be spoon levels, so spoons from 1 to 4. So this can maybe gear more towards the variety of people like us, cater more to your own needs. And this is where I need your help. If there is a survey attached in your reminder email, if you could click that link and just give me some feedback so I know what more styles of classes, the lengths of classes and stuff like that. And we always have our free monthly class. So that's the first Saturday of every month, and that will be ongoing. And that's it for me. I really thank you for coming and trying. And I am going to open the floor now. So hopefully, Erin, you could take me off spotlight or keep me on if you prefer it that way. And people can just write in the chat or raise their hands, whatever they're most comfortable with. And I'm going to close my screen share. Okay. There we go.
All right. Well, Shannon, we have our first question, and the question was, what level of spoon would you consider the class that you just led?
Perfect. I'd say this was a 2 spoon class. So beneath that would be meditation, breathing only, no movements. And then above a 2 spoon class would be getting into a bit more movements and maybe even a little bit longer in duration. And 4 spoons would be seated and standing and flowing between, but still a modified class. Thanks for the question.
Well, I will say this, the chat is filled with thank yous and a lot of love, discussing just how much they really appreciate this. So yeah, okay, next question is your free monthly class that happens on the first Saturday, is that like this one or more advanced?
At this point, I'm keeping it at the 2 spoon level, just so even someone who has 4 or 5 spoons, that way, who doesn't need to relax and kind of get a little more centered and a bit more grounded? And then people who are at that 2-spoon level don't feel they can't attend. I want to make it as inclusive as possible. And God knows I have many 2-spoon days. So it just makes it available to more this way for the free class.
All right, so we have someone who's a question says, I have been 100% bed bound for almost a half a year now.
Yeah.
I can only sit up in bed leaning against the headboard,
Yeah.
mostly with a pillow. I'm very worried about what this will do to my posture, which is bad as is. Any
Yeah.
suggestions for what I can do?
I would say bringing any little gentle micro movements you can when you're laying down to increase circulation. So that could be just, flexing, pumping the feet to get the blood pressure up, elevating the legs to get the blood pressure up. There's also a really nice pose you can do right from bed that kind of opens your chest and shoulders more. So if you have something that's a little bit firmer than a pillow, so a folded blanket or a folded towel, and ease into this. So maybe you even start with only 30 seconds on it and see how it feels, or you can build up. But what it will do, if you place it from your back down to your lower back, it will automatically open and release your shoulders some. And that helps with opening the chest and getting that spine a little bit of a break in the vertebrae as well. So I would definitely start there. And I am going to have some little short clips in my video section coming up that are going to be more geared to people who are severe.
Okay, so another question is, what modifications could a person make to avoid numbness and coldness in their extremities? And I think it's being while they're doing this type of work.
I would say dress warmly. If you have something that's heated, sometimes when I'm having those days, I actually do the practice under a heated blanket, just so my body stays warm. Or if you have like a little heating pad, you can place somewhere on your body to help keep you warm. In terms of numbness, I would say again, with anything that can get the circulation into whatever area is particularly numb. And this might not be, the answer entirely, but hopefully it would help. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah. And then a question we got was, do you offer individual classes?
I do. So I have a live weekly class every Wednesday, and that may increase depending on what the need for the community is. And I also offer, if somebody needs a little more personal session for them, their needs specifically, I have one-on-one private sessions. So that can all be found on my website under offerings.
Sorry, I am sharing the link to the survey that Shannon mentioned. It was in the email that was sent out, I think yesterday, as a reminder. And then also, Shannon, I shared your link to your website because people were asking for your slides, which I don't know if those are available or not, but they will be on this recording. So
I could even send it with the recording as well, like as a thing they could click. So I'll make a note to do that.
Awesome. All righty. Okay, we're getting a couple more questions. People are coming in now.
Good. Happy.
Make sure I understand them.
Oh, and so really? I should mention too, that the next free class is this coming, wait, not tomorrow, not Saturday, November 5th. So the following Saturday. You just have to register for it on the website.
Any movements or positions you would recommend for dealing with coat hanger pain, upper spine, shoulder, neck, and neck?
Yes. That I feel like that's an entire class. Micro movements. So little tiny movements where you're going into the tension. And then the real release will be when you let go and kind of come in the opposite way. So you want to go into the tension first of the coat hanger of your, usually, which is your shoulders and neck, right? So you kind of draw up and then slowly release. And you can do this movement either side of your body, starting small, guiding the breath, getting it a little more relaxed. And there's some self-massage that I'm going to have a class on as well, just to kind of release the fascia that gets so gripped and so tight. And I'm certain we all have that. So I'll make a note to maybe put that on pretty soon too.
Okay. And another people wanting to know all the levels of all of your classes. What spoon level is your Wednesday class?
That fluctuates between a 2 and a 3. So I usually send out an email on the Monday to let people know what's coming up. And so I will let them know. It's never a hard 3, by the way. It would be like a 2.5 to. So I let them know ahead of time. And I'm finding as I'm growing, because this is really new too, if there's more people wanting like that 3 level consistently, then I'm going to add another day of the week to help people with that live, because I know how important the live classes are for some of us that just need that. Okay, it's yoga day. I have my time. I've got to go. I know if it's a recording, I'm not going to do it, and guilty. I'm one of those. So I want to make sure that that's there too. And if it ever got to a point where there was more, I would do more.
Yeah.
Or hire someone to do the harder class.
Yeah. Well, you're getting a lot of requests for the coat hanger class.
Okay.
Quite a few people are definitely interested in it. And there was kind of a question that related to this, so I don't know if it necessarily was answered by it, but this person mentioned they kind of get moderate to severe headaches, migraines, several times a week, is because they have a lot of tension in their neck and shoulders. So I don't know if it's just if there's different recommendations from what you kind of shared about the coat hanger answer. So I just wanted to see if there's anything you could think could help a person who gets those types of headaches.
Massage for sure. In the neck and shoulders, even having a tennis ball where you kind of, if you're having to do it yourself, where you take the tennis ball and you just kind of roll it down the areas and up the neck, that helps release the fascia there too. Cold cloth, dark room, sadly are what's good for really bad migraines. But anything where you can, sometimes it's like the blood pressure's trapped there. So elevating the legs, and for some of us, that might be just over a pillow. Some could do it over the back of a chair, so it's a higher elevation. And if you're a higher level, you could even do them against the wall, where it's just going to bring all the blood pressure back down. So help stimulate that a bit. But I do have a class coming in my recorded series that's for headaches, because I know that's just part of the deal with us.
Yeah. And quick question for you, Shannon, and I apologize, I haven't searched, but on your website, can people sign up for a newsletter or an email where they can get updates of when these classes will be offered? I mean, I know you have your standing classes, but these more designated focus
just
courses.
to be part of it. I'm just going to quickly show my screen right now. So basically, I'll show you first. Here's where you would find the online class. Okay, so you can book from there. Here is also where you'd find the recorded videos. So you would click here to register for that, and it kind of gives you an overview of the course, and you would just click here to purchase it, and you'd have it for 30 days. The thing I'm developing is going to be a monthly open library, almost like a Netflix kind of style. So you'd have access meditations, specific classes for different parts of the body, for headaches, for gastrointestinal issues, all that sort of thing. And then for the free yoga, you would just click in the free yoga section here, and this is always going to show you what free videos I have. I have a couple to upload, and then to join our Saturday class, you basically just would click through and you don't have to pay anything, and it comes through and you'll get the Zoom link just like you did for this class. And if you're wanting just to be added to the mail list, you can click contact me and just simply say add to mail list. That would be or email me directly and it would go to your email. So whatever way works for you. Well, I'm here. Does anyone have any questions about the website or accessing anything?
There are questions with regard to the time zone of the free community course.
Okay. So it is at 1 p.m. I'm in Toronto, Canada, which is similar time zone to New York. So I think I say it, yes. I'll show this in every class for what the time zone is. And then if you just Google what time, my time zone, sort of thing in response. I know 1 p.m. in like LA West Coast would be 10 a.m. And then UK is, I think it's 7 p.m. And of course, there's other time zones I know for people that are here. And just email me if you're someone who gets stuck with that stuff. I'm happy to help.
Yeah. And yes, I know. With meaction being a global organization, we get used to the time zone converters often, making sure we're tracking all the different times. A couple of questions about just, I think some of the answers were in the chat, both regards to payment. You take both Canadian and US.
It's universal. Wherever you live, they'll convert it. It converts automatically to your currency. So for example, my Wednesday class is $10 Canadian, which I think is around 8 US and around maybe 8 for euros as well, Great British Pound, that sort of thing. But it should show you, once you go through, it will show you in your currency. I have it directed that way.
And then do you take PayPal or is it just credit card?
I do take PayPal. I should make, I'll add my PayPal name somewhere on the account too, just so it makes it easier for people wanting to pay PayPal. I just haven't linked it yet. That's all.
Okay. That's totally fine. And then a couple of questions about the Saturday class. One of them is if they sign up and they can't attend, does it get recorded like this one and they get a replay? And then the other question is, do they have to sign up each month to take the free class on Saturdays?
Great question. Yes, they are now going to be recorded. They weren't recorded before. The community chats are never recorded, unfortunately, just because in case there's any personal information that's given, we just do the class recorded and that's all. And then, yes, you need to register every month, but you can go to my calendar and like just register in advance as well, so that it's already there. That way I know who's kind of like a rough idea who's coming that day, so I can kind of plan accordingly a little bit too.
And then this is a very specific question. I don't know if we can answer it until we actually, the replay is available, but how would a person listen to the replay? Is it just, they would play it like it's a YouTube or something? Or?
Oh, yes. So there's going to be 2 ways. I will have it on my website. under free yoga. Once I start recording the free sessions, they'll be there. And there's a YouTube channel as well. If you look for Nourish Therapeutic Yoga, there's probably, I think, only one up there right now, but yeah, come to think of it, I don't know how many free classes I can show from the website. So it might be better to have a little bit of both.
Awesome. Well, I think we're coming upon the hour. And so I just want to say first, thank you so much, Shannon, for reaching out to meaction. And I just am really, we had over 130 people live at one point joining, which is huge, and so exciting to have this opportunity. And as I was telling Shannon before, you know, when we kind of vet these opportunities, we always want to make sure the person fully understands. And Shannon's wording on her website, and obviously just because of her lived experience, was such a good match. And we just felt so comfortable on offering this to our community. And like we said, we were blown away with how many people RSVP'd. And we're also, like I said, blown away by how many of you showed up today. And again, Shannon, the chat is blowing up with love and support. And it's just really wonderful to offer these types of programs to our communities. And just really quickly, I just want to say, obviously, meaction, we launched our end of year fundraising campaign, our Bold Action campaign, because action is in our name. So if any of you are able to give to our end of year fundraising, that's amazing. It helps us to continue to support and provide programs like this. And if you aren't able to give financially, you can share it on your social medias or email your friends and family, forward emails that we send along, because it really does help. You know, we are a small nonprofit, so, you know, every dollar does really make a difference, and it goes right back into all of your guys's, the community. So, so yeah, so I just want to highlight that in our end of year campaign. But again, Shannon, thank you so much for offering this. There's people all over the world also taking it. I've seen Trinidad and Tobago. I've seen Norway, Sweden, UK. So like I said, we're international. So it's so cool. And just everyone's just talking about how it's wonderful to come and join as a community and gather.
It is.
With it's so wonderful now with the option of virtual, bringing all of us together, no matter where we are in the world and from our beds. So thank you so much. I don't know if you want to say anything before we close out.
No, just thanks everybody. So grateful that we're here and we're showing up and we're still fighting the good fight. So any questions, I'm very easy to talk to. So please approach me. Don't be shy. And this is going to be growing as I go. So bear with me.
And then just one quick question someone asked about other virtual meetups, and maybe it's about through meaction. So as we're heading toward the end of the year, we will be having our winter artist salon, which this will be our second time hosting it in the winter, which is when people who are artists of all natures, all skill level, all mediums, can come and share their work with individuals, with other people. So you can be the artist to share your work. We had somebody who was the first time writing a poem joined, so you don't have to be a master at all. And then also, if you just want to listen and hear other people's and see other people's beautiful work, you can join as well. So we will have that. And I think we're looking at doing a holiday gathering. Sometimes we have great turnouts, sometimes with the timing and nature hasn't. So we might be doing a poll about that soon. So if that's something you guys are interested in. The artist thing, we have not actually put that shared on the internet quite yet. We will be doing that in the next about month. It will be in December. So we'll release more information about the artist salon come mid-November. So keep a lookout for your emails for that one. Ooh, awesome. I'm glad that you were an artist, Danielle. We'll definitely information will be shared in our emails, and then obviously on our
like Tuesdays. Tuesdays are good.
Well, it sounds like some people are unmuted, so we're getting some background noise, which I think is a great time to we can close out. But again, thank you, Shannon. Thank all of you who are on this call. I still believe it. There's 75 of you here listening to us. So thank you. We appreciate it all. And I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, evening, wherever you're located. Enjoy this fall day, hopefully in your area.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I hope to see you again